It's 78 degrees in my apartment.
Oh my gosh. Seriously?
Yeah.
That's hot. Is your air conditioner broken?
It's on. My energy bill last month was $170 for a one-person apartment, and it's 78 degrees in here. Like,
you
not
may
doing
need
a whole lot for me.
You may need to talk to your
I need to talk to my
your landlord.
I need to talk to my representative.
Yeah. No, I mean, like, seriously, like, listen, nothing is scarier to a landlord than
top. Is that cool?
No. I was just teasing you.
Cool.
Yeah, I was just teasing you. It's
fine. Good show.
All right. I have a question for you. So, Garrett, I read that FSU article. It was funny, but the guy was a little bit nuts.
He was a little psycho.
Yeah.
But it was funny.
It was funny. So, like, FSU, this guy on 24/7, no, it's 24/7, did this article, and I thought it was going to be the Seminole versus all of the mascots, right?
Okay.
And it wasn't. It was how he would kill them all. So it was like, and look, maybe it's because I've been watching a lot of Dexter again lately.
That sounds deeply personal.
But he was like, oh yeah, this one I do an AR-15. This one I would do this. And I'm like, I mean, our guy has a spear with fire on it and a bow and arrow. Not to mention, like, what else he could have. A tomahawk. He's got a tomahawk, a spear. Like, he's got a lot of stuff. Like, he can take out most of the animals. But I'm going to ask you a mascot fight related question that is not nearly as dark as how I would mass murder and here's the thing, the editor at 24/7 didn't catch it and go like, ooh, maybe.
I was looking at it, I was thinking about taking it to the perspective of like Baylor's mascot, where it's everybody.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Yeah, I thought it was mascot fights, but it's how this guy would personally murder a tiger and a lion.
It's so personal. It's such like a personal piece.
Yeah,
that's amazing.
This is how I would do it.
It's like the OJ book. Didn't OJ write a book? It was like, if I did it.
If I did it.
Like, this is how I would have killed all of them.
Yeah. If should have been in quotation marks.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, all right. You ready? Everybody ready? Brandon, we ready? Okay. Welcome back, 365 Sports. Josh Neighbors College Countdown. He is very casual because it is 1,000 degrees in his apartment today. So he's got to relax. He can't run the air as low as he wants to. No, I'm Josh. Nothing has ever made me want you to get you to move down here faster than that.
Isn't it hotter down there though?
But like we have functional AC. I mean, like here's the deal. I don't like that we have to do this apart. You and I and the group, we have chemistry here. Garrett's a big fan. Like, it's just, and I don't want to go to Arkansas. No.
Neither did I.
But and I say that with all due love to our people watching in Arkansas.
I love Arkansas.
But it's like, here's the thing. Arkansas is one of those places, like, once you cross the border, it's like, I mean, it's very green. It's, it's very beautiful in a lot of parts to it. Yeah. You don't it's one of those things that's unexpected because nobody really talks about it.
Right? Can I give you a quick anecdote? And I actually don't know if you'll be able to keep this in the show or not. So we were discussing today on our radio show, moving to college, and it reminded me of when I had moved here. It was a very much similar experience. So my sophomore year of college, I drove from Virginia, where I'm from, to Missouri, where I went to school. My dad and I drove my car out there, and it was a fun drive, 15 hours, stopped the night, slept for about 5 hours, and like outside of Louisville, and drove the rest of the way. Well, when I moved to Arkansas, very similar experience. I had gotten the show. My dad never hesitated once when I asked him, what do you think I should do? Should I move to Arkansas? Should I do this job? I moved. We drove out here, and he fully supported me on my move to Missouri, fully supported me on my move to Arkansas. The only moment I've ever seen my dad show any doubt about what I do for a living and where I'm doing it was when he's like, how about you turn on the radio show that you're going to be joining? So I said, okay. So we crossed the border, like you talked about, Paul, from Memphis into Arkansas, and
which is a terrible drive, by the way.
There's nothing. There's absolutely nothing.
It's just you and a million trucks on a 2-lane road.
Totally.
And they're either at the very end of their thing or the very beginning.
Yeah.
So it's
Memphis,
not
like West Memphis, total dump, and then it's just nothing. It's absolutely nothingness. So I forget if I pull up the app or we use the FM radio, but I turn it on. And the show that I am doing is on the radio. Show I'm going to be producing is on the radio. They are live from an adult store, and they are asking the man who. And once again, this is an audio medium. They have yet to introduce cameras to the medium, and they are asking the person in the store what individual objects in the store, what function they perform. And my dad looks over at me and he goes, "What have you done?" What have you done with your career? And I'm like, I don't know. I've got no idea. So my dad's like, I thought you were doing a sports show. I said, I thought I was too.
So I had a very similar experience here.
Oh my God.
Gosh. So I was living in Tampa for a couple of years, and it just wasn't like I was kind of stuck.
Yeah.
Personally, I was just stuck. I didn't know, I was 25. I didn't really know where I was going. My comedy career was it was really expensive. And back in 2005, to reproduce a tape to send to people was really expensive. It was one of those things where, you kind of my dad had done some for me, but I didn't want him to go back and be like, hey, I sent out all 25 that you got. I need 25 more and 25 more and 25 more. And of those 25, you send out 3 people call you back. And it's never oh, by the way, this is Ted Gimbley with The Tonight Show.
Right.
We came across your tape. This is this is Greg up here in Moultrie, Georgia. We got a bowling alley with a lounge, and we need somebody to feature for our headliner on Friday. And so it's all right, I'm gonna go do comedy in a bowling alley. And doing comedy in a bowling alley is wild because you're telling jokes and people are focused, but every time you stop to take a sip of water, or if you pause for effect, all you hear is
him being knocked over.
Yeah. Lane 35 is ready. Johnson party of 7, lane 35 is ready. And that's all you hear.
Yeah.
It was pretty well contained because it was far enough off the bowling alley. And there was a really actually nice bar for a bowling alley, but it was still it's a bowling alley. They're loud. There's nothing. So I was at a real crossroads. I was like, man, I'm paying rent. I'm doing this. So my dad said, come back here, come to Waco. I'd never lived in Waco. And so a buddy of mine had said, look, if you want to, and this is good advice for people, if you want to do something, go to that place and just take any job that you can get that you're qualified for and do it. And then meet the people who can teach you how to do it and learn. And then eventually, if you show enough gumption, they're gonna give you a shot.
Totally agree.
That's the best. That's the fastest path to it. It's the fastest path. And so I was suggested to do that. So there's one sports station here in Waco, KRZI, where I wound up working for 15 years. And the show that was on in the afternoon, and the show I eventually wound up on was Tom Bush, called You Make the Call. And Butch Henry, God rest his soul, was one of the most wonderful people in my life. But he and Tom were country as hell. And so I'm listening to them and they're talking about mowing their lawn. And I was like, oh my God, I'm going to go in there. And I don't Garrett knows how the show used to be. And this is pre-Smokies before he ever and I remember thinking oh man, but the thing about that though, is you go in and then you learn about those people and you learn they actually might be pretty good at their job, or this is just a different thing, or I'm going to bring my flavor to this.
Well,
and I think that's the key is you just look, you're the lowest man on the totem pole. You go give your all, have a good attitude and figure it out, and don't judge. You cannot judge. You're not in a position to judge. Yeah. So just,
I'll say this too, look, we're in the middle of summer, we're getting close to season, but this is something that I think in our careers, everybody will have these moments. And I remember I used to go to broadcasting camps as a kid. And I remember everybody would have that story, that moment where they talked about, and it was we're going to figure out how badly you want this.
Yeah.
And whether that could be a place you go, people you meet, you will figure out how badly you want to do whatever you thought your dream was. And it's okay if it's not what you want to do, but you will find out. And I'll tell you, ironically enough, those two gentlemen, David Basil and Roger Scott, who were doing the show, asking the man at Cupid's adult store what each apparatus did, what its function was in the relationship and the dynamic.
Yeah.
They have become the two most important people I've ever worked with professionally. No doubt in my mind about that. They have taught me how I would do a show. They would taught me how I would not do a show, the way I speak about people, the way I won't speak about people, the way people interact with them. The fact that like your job really never does stop. People think all the time, Paul, that what we do is we go to microphones and we BS about sports. No, it's not what we do. Like when you shake hands and kiss babies and people recognize you, like every interaction you have with somebody who engages with you is work. Right. Yeah. You're doing work, you're fostering an audience, you're building an audience, all that kind of stuff. And I have learned that from these two gentlemen who I first heard doing their show, asking about sex objects in an adult store.
Yeah.
So to your point, always say yes, keep a positive attitude. You never know where it might take you.
Yeah. And just learn about people. You just learn. And you're like, the thing is, you'll know, like, especially when you start at the bottom, if this is something that you thought it was, or you thought it wasn't. Like, you'll figure out, like, when you start at the bottom of, okay, well, like, all right, I'm going to file this paperwork because they asked me to. That's not so bad. Okay, I've got to, and like I did every crap job that there was. I was, just because they let me be on the air and all this, I did every crap job that I could possibly do. And, we had a wedge truck, like those are kind of dead, but like we had to change. We shared it with our other stations in Austin. So we would have it for 2 months. They would have it for 2 months. And so when they would send it back to us, we'd have to take their sides of it off and put ours on. And they bought this thing at a swap meet. And it was, man, you want to talk about all day work. I was doing the morning show at the time. So like 9 o'clock, if it was wedge truck day, from 9 o'clock till about 4 o'clock, it was me and this guy named Matt or Chris Allman, who Garrett knows, like, screws would break off. We'd have to go buy new screws.
That's the find out how badly you want this.
Yeah. It was
that is your find out how badly you want this.
Yeah. And then like you like sometimes like you don't know, you're like angry and you're just yelling at this wedge truck, at this truck.
But you're mad about life. You're not really mad.
You're just yelling at the wedge truck, and then your boss comes out and goes, "Everything all right?" Oh yeah. No. It's fine. It's good. I'm good. I'm good. I haven't thought about taking this thing and driving it into the river, which is right there.
Sitting in the car while it's safe.
Yeah, just letting it all like, no, like this is, I wouldn't even have nobody would figure out what I'm doing. It's literally 200 yards away. I'd be in the river before.
Hopefully the folks out there like have the same feeling we're describing. Like and the thing is like when something gratifying happens at our job, and Paul, this is the last thing I'll say about this because I know I'm taking up your time. But the last thing I'll say is like I did the Arkansas basketball post-game show last year. And the flip side of what you're talking about is like, I don't do what I do, so a lot of people listen to me and hear me. It's very flattering. People enjoy what I have to say. But we got a message from a father. His name's Drew. He's one of our sponsors. And he said that I said, my son and I watch every game. And then depending on what the time is, if it's an earlier game at night, we'll listen to Josh's show at night. And if it's the morning, we'll listen to Josh's show. And if it's a late game, we'll listen to Josh's show in the morning. And the fact that a father and a son share part of my commentary's coverage as part of their Arkansas basketball watching experience is the most gratifying thing that's ever happened for me professionally, because that's what my dad and I did. Like when my dad helped drive me to college, or when he drove me out here to Arkansas, he and I listened to podcasts together. If we ever drove to his parents' house, my grandparents in Southwest Virginia, we listened to basketball podcasts. We listened to Bill Simmons. We listened to college football podcasts. And the fact that another father and son got to share that, like it's my stuff and it's part of their watching experience for a sport, like that's actually what we care about. And that's the flip side of what you're talking about. I want to drive in the river and sink to the bottom. The flip side is when somebody says, hey, you're a part of my morning routine. I take my kids to school and we listen to you. We watch the basketball games, we listen to you. That's the flip side, and that's why we do it. And I feel very lucky. As much as it sucks sometimes, I feel very lucky that I get to share experiences, and also, things like this. You and I get to chat every Friday it's fun. It's gratifying. It's
no, this is not a job. It's career. It's great. Yeah, no, it's great. It's great. So Josh, we are just two weeks away from the season, 2 Saturdays away from the season starting. And the first one up is in Ireland. It's Iowa State and Kansas State. And these are 2 extremely interesting teams to me in the Big 12. We had Tim Brando on the show yesterday, and Brando said that, like, he has Iowa State in his top 15 pretty high. I think they were 8th. And he said that the win, like, if Kansas State wins that game, he's going to flip Kansas State and Iowa State because he thinks that's who's going to be kind of in control of one of those spots for the Big 12 title game on the way out, because that's too, like, and there's 2 things going on here. There's no more fun athletic quarterback to watch in the country, maybe, than Avery Johnson. And if he's figured out how to not turn the ball over, that's really scary. And there is no better quarterback to watch, at least in the Big 12, maybe around, like, he's top 3 in the country when it comes to close game, fourth quarter, than Rocco Becht. This is a huge opportunity for the Big 12 with a showcase to start off the season. How big is this game, not only for both teams, but just for the league as it continues its new push to, like, hey, by the way, it's pretty good over here?
This game absolutely slaps. Like, this is the game, and this was so smart. Like, this is what, everybody, you kind of, give guys their credit. Brett Yormark promoting this game and allowing this game to be the one that's up front and close and personal, like, is so smart, because there is a natural overreaction. The college football, college sports at large is so much narrative driven. Mm-hmm. College football specifically is more narrative driven because there's such a small sample size of it. You only play 12 regular season games. And because of that, as a sports watching culture, we just want to react. We want to give our thoughts. We want to have things to think about and talk about. And so, Paul, as a Florida State guy, like, nobody knows better than you. I mean, not saying it was an overreaction, but, like, was that game not a harbinger of things to come for Florida State?
Oh, it is. Yes, it is. And it was for Nebraska when they lost to Northwestern.
Yes.
It
Maybe
is.
we forget. Yeah.
Yeah. Because it is such a large undertaking. It is, you're not going to go play. This is not, hey, we're going to go play in Kansas City, or we're going to go play in Dallas, or we're going to go play in Vegas. Like, no, you are going to Ireland. You are going to, like, you're going to they're going to take you all these tours and, like, all these things that you wouldn't normally be doing. You're going to go kiss the Blarney Stone, and, like, you're going to go do all these things in Ireland that you would normally do before a game. Then you have to think about how the schedule comes after it. If you're going to take that, you get that week off. Sometimes they do, sometimes they don't. And then all the things. It is a very large undertaking, and this is an enormous rivalry. As a matter of fact,
massive.
It's a massive rivalry, and I do think that after this game, I think that they've got to go back in the room and make sure that this is protected in the schedule, which they have not done. I think if this one, like, works out how I think it's going to work out, where it's going to be really good, they need to go back in the room and be like, hey, we messed up. We got to make sure this is a protected rivalry.
Paul, are you a Game of Thrones guy? Were you?
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Okay, so Avery Johnson, very much like the prince who was promised, right? I mean, just this dynamic athlete who, if he puts it all together, is going to be a special player because of how good of an athlete he was. You've got him, and then you've really got, like, Rocco Becht, the prince who is not promised, because think about how Rocco Becht arrived into our lives. The Iowa State betting scandal put a quarterback front and center who we did not expect to see out there, right? This was not the guy that I think that we all thought we were going to see. And now here we are sitting 3 seasons later, right? And last 2 years combined, he's thrown for 48 touchdowns, 17 picks, and he's thrown for nearly 7,000 yards. Yeah. And this is a guy where, like, he's got to get that. His dad played in the NFL? Was it?
Yeah. Anthony Becht. Yeah.
Anthony Becht. Right.
Yeah.
Not like massive, not a big bill, but, like, this kid's got a lot of experience.
He's got some
just the white guy adjectives.
No, like he's like rascally to it. He's rascally. Yes. Like, he's got a little bit of, like, he reminds me a bit of, like, Drew Brees when he was young in his career, where he's not big. Like, I remember the first I've met Drew Brees several times, and it stuns me like how this guy made it 19 years in the league, being built like he was, right?
Yeah.
And but it's because they had this kind of like, devil may care attitude about things. And they enjoyed, like, he enjoys, like, sometimes I think he'd be like, after a game, they could beat Kansas State 45-2. Like, and he'd be walking to the locker room. They'd be like, great win. He'd be like, yeah,
sick.
Like he'd be like, great. But like, if the game was 27-24 and they won that game, he would just be like, rock and roll, baby.
Yeah.
This is what it's all about. Like, that's what I like about him. How many
wins do you think Rocco Becht has in 2 years, Paul, as a starter?
Probably not as many as I think, but let's see. 18. Well, it's not bad. That's 9 and 9.
He's averaging 9 wins a year as a starter.
Yeah.
Guess what? We never thought this guy was going to be a starter. Like, he was behind the Hunter Deckers thing, and I forgot if he was third string or not, second or third string, whatever he was.
Yeah.
And he just emerged, and he's just like, he's good. Yeah. And the thing about it is that guys get better typically as they go along. Like, I want to see if he can really, really ratchet up that. I mean, I want to see him if we can get to 4, maybe 5 picks this year. They do rely on him a lot, and so I don't mind some of the bad choices, bad throws that he makes. But I think this guy's got a chance. And like, this is 2 of the best 3, 4 quarterbacks in the Big 12 that we're going to see right off the bat. I mean, I wish I could consider Jalen Daniels in the conversation, but it's hard to, considering his injury history. Like, he's almost just like we're happy if we get him type deal.
Yeah.
Kind of almost additive if he's in the conversation, but he really hasn't been in it enough. But man, this is a great quarterback battle. It's a great coaching battle. Chris Kleiman versus Matt Campbell. I mean, it's about as good as you could ask for leading off the season. Like, this is not, there's no upstarts here. These are just good. These are really good coaches who have built really good programs. Lest we forget, Iowa State 1 game away from the college football playoff last year. I know Cam Ward only plays the first half, and they beat Miami in the bowl game. Like, Matt Campbell just keeps building badass teams at Iowa State.
Yeah.
And I can't wait to see these 2 teams, because it is, to me, I just saw an article. It's like 25 best rivalries in college football, and I'm not sure this one's up there. It has to be. It should be. We all know it is.
It should be 26th if it's not. Like,
well, you're right, Paul. They got to protect this thing. They've got to protect this thing.
They got to protect it. Okay. Real quick, a couple things before we go. I've released my top 25, and and it's the 5 spots a day until Monday. So Monday we'll find out the top 5 of that. I'm going to make a prediction to you about 2 other opening games.
Okay.
Texas and Ohio State, and Clemson and LSU.
Okay.
One of those games will have a national championship participant in it. And it's not Texas and Ohio State. It's Clemson and LSU. I think the winner of that game winds up like building the momentum and rolling through, especially if it's Clemson, because their schedule's not quite as tough as LSU's is. But if LSU wins that game, it means that Brian Kelly is finally taken a step forward. Am I crazy to think that?
No, I think you and I talked about this last week, that in terms of returning production, Ohio State and Texas were both in the hundreds.
Yeah.
And an interesting question, Paul, I really like to know is, and I think actually I maybe I should email Bill Connolly about this and see if I can get a response out of him. How many teams has there ever been a team ranked in over 100 in returning production that's played for a national championship? And I'd like to know in the college football playoff era if that's been the case, because I think that's what was your calculus? Was that a part of it? Because we really don't know about. And do you think Arch Manning's going to be good? I think he's going to be good, but I don't.
I think it's going to be great, but that also means that like everybody else, is everybody else going to be?
Yes.
Okay, you're putting a lot on just Arch. I think Arch is just going to be fantastic. I think we're going to see 2 amazing Manning years that we know about at quarterback at Texas. I think we're going to see that. But I do wonder about everybody else. That to me is a thing. You've got to do that. And look, both these teams could be 10-2 and 9-3, and they're fine. But I do think that there's a potential for them to do that, as where if LSU and Clemson in this Tiger Bowl in fake Death Valley, I'm doing that because Garrett. I don't want Garrett to come across me here. But if they have that, like to me, that one, the winner, like, and look, it might be the winner of both those games. Like it might be, say it's Clemson and Texas. That might be our national championship game. Like honestly,
your take might have been in danger this week because the Nussmeier thing was, everybody's freaking out. It sounds like he's okay though, right?
Yeah. He just got a little bit of a tendonitis or something. Garrett sat in this room and cried for 45 minutes.
Let's keep an eye on that. Let's keep an eye on it because it doesn't sound like it's as bad as it was talked about. But hey, you never know. There could always be something there at that.
Yeah. Well, I mean, like, here's the thing. Coaches lie about injuries more than they lie about anything. They're like, coaches lie about injuries more than Hugh Freeze lies about. No.
Hey, he's good to go. How bad the Cam Rising Utah thing?
Yeah.
Like, he's good to go. And we don't see him for the entire
year. Oh, he's getting so much better.
You remember the Florida-Utah game? They're like, he might play. And then he didn't play the entire year.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. Okay, last thing.
Yeah.
Would you rather listen? Your mascot's a tiger. Yeah. Garrett's is a tiger. Mine is a human person with a horse.
Totally.
With weapons.
Yes.
If we're talking winning games on mascot fight, do you feel more comfortable with a human mascot or an animal mascot?
Well, I mean, it's like, do I have?
And we're not even giving them mythical demons, like whatever a blue devil or a sun devil is.
Let's go practical here. Like, if you gave me the Bruin, I love my chances.
Okay.
I mean, if we're going grizzly bear, and like, I know you got a spear, but man, like, it's going to take more than the spear to stop the grizzly bear. Right?
I probably have a bow and arrow. I know I have a tomahawk.
Like, I actually like your chances against the tiger more than the grizzly bear.
Yeah. No, I do. Like the grizzly bear.
There's more surface area to hit on grizzly bear, but grizzly bear is tougher than tiger. I'll give you. I will see that. Yeah. So it depends on the human. I'll give you this one. How about this? I'll give you Seminole against my Missouri Tiger. I think Truman goes down.
Okay.
I will take you. What's the UCLA Bruins name? Brewy or something like that? Who knows?
Yeah. I don't know.
I will if it's a bear mascot like that. We're probably like the duck. The Oregon Duck probably loses every fight.
Here's the thing about gators. They rely on stealth, right? They rely on the fact that you're swimming in the water, you don't see them, or you fall in, or you're right at the edge and they just leap out and get you. But once they're out of the water, they're not really a problem, right?
Yes.
So as long as your human or other animal mascot doesn't fall into their trap, you should be okay. Right. I thought about this a lot with Miami. If Miami is the ibis, they're cooked. They're cooked if they're the ibis. But if they're an actual hurricane, then they win almost all these things.
It's really not fair to be like a
force of nature.
Iowa State. Yes, it can't be a force of nature.
Yeah, it's got to be an animal. Or it's got to be
something
an
physical.
Animal or something tangible like that you can. Yeah. So and then we got to figure out what kind of imp and demons that blue and sun devils.
Like Cy the Cardinal for Iowa State has to be their mascot.
Yeah. Okay. So that's what we have to do. We can't so Miami's chosen a very weak bird.
Yes.
Yeah, they've got a problem.
Totally cooked.
Yeah, they've got a problem. Now, look, Alabama has an elephant. Like, you don't want to mess with an elephant. I'm surprised there's not more hippos. That's the most dangerous animal in Africa.
Totally true. Not very intimidating, though, I think.
Yeah.
In theory. But in practice, you ever see the crocodile versus hippo stuff? Hippos are
they're crazy,
nasty.
Man.
They are nasty.
Yeah. I saw somebody on the internet feed a hippo a watermelon the other day, and they put it through the grate. And the hippo's grateful for the watermelon, but they were like, we're not getting close to this hippo. Like, I'm going to chest pass this watermelon into his mouth and he'll be fine. I'm not going to be
like, here you go. Here you go.
Yeah, absolutely. Josh Neighbors, College Countdown. The first episode's out or coming
Jack
out?
Allen and I.
That's Jack Allen, the man, the myth, the legend, Jack Allen.
Yes,
Josh Neighbors, College Countdown podcast with us every Friday. Josh, we'll see you next week, buddy.
Yes, sir.
All right. That is Josh Neighbors. The top 5 comes up next.